bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Coming to you live from the Pinewood Iskandar Malaysia studios, we are bringing you the PGL CSGO Championship Minor Asia Division. Now it's do or die time. But before we get into our next matchup, which is going to be NXL and Athletico, I want to bring you guys up to speed on the brackets of both groups. We're going to start with Group B, the group that we're not doing on this stream. Right now, the craziness that's happening is CyberZen has taken Renegades into overtime. That match we talked about before, it's now actually in overtime. But you can see Renegades took out Team Bot, and CyberZen took out, obviously, Fire Dragoon. Those two have dropped down. They will start playing soon. But again, that key match up top is into overtime right now. And then obviously the loser of that will drop down to play the winner of the Bot Dragoon match. The winner of that match is done for the day. They are into the semifinals. And then we've got Group A, the matches we're going to do the rest of the day. And again, as we've talked about, we are going to do the first lower bracket right now. So you can see MVP Project is waiting for the winner of this match, NXL Athletico. Again, now we're also in best of threes. So no team can be eliminated by a best of one, which is great. I would prefer best of threes all the way around, but this is a nice compromise in the sense of timing and how to get the thing done on a weekend. And as you can see, what we did show you all day today, Ty Lu, NXL, and Project.
the veteran in the team were So, Frost, Misty, Soifang, and Bentet. Bentet being the newest addition to the team, has also been in their both online and offline games leading up to this tournament, been their little big fragger in many ways. So he's going to be the one who's leading the charge in this one. I think he's going to need to showcase that kind of form as well if they're going to have a shot at versus Athletico, because what we saw versus from Athletico, the Australians, was actually pretty decent versus MVP.
Like an old guy, 30-year-old guy on that team. That's impressive. Come on, I'm trying to bring him closer to me.
If you had, you already have him not too close enough, right?
Fair enough.
If you had Taz's picture next to him, though,
yeah.
would you imagine they're the same age?
Oh, never. No, not in the years.
Hair is an amazing thing. Or lack thereof, I guess,
exactly.
right?
Yeah. But I mean, this is interesting in a sense where NXL did seem very underwhelming in the first game, but now we get to see whether it was Tylo just being in a totally different level or NXL just being lackluster.
And the other side of the coin, their opponents are going to be Athletico, coming to us from the Oceania qualifier. Let's take a look at that. Natu, why don't you walk us through those guys?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the first game, like we said, again, I'm infrequent. Why are you being frequent? Everyone's having their arms like this, and then he's just not.
Has to be different.
Sonic infrequent, Wizard, Lias, and Aircast. I mean, what can I say? It's actually, for me, Sonic and infrequent were the ones that really
stood out.
Stood out for them. Sonic just able to get a lot of multi-kills, and infrequent. Even if he wasn't really standing high on the frag department, he was making a lot of impact kills, hitting shots with the knob.
Yeah, I also want to credit Aircast as well. He is a standing, even though he's been kind of the go-to stand-in for a lot of tournaments with this team, and has obviously played quite a bit with them. I think he did a pretty good job for himself in that first matchup as well, which is a good sign. The fact that he's able to find his spot within the team, even though he's not a solid fifth. So obviously they just need everything going their way, because there's this do or die, as we've mentioned several times. So you want everyone to be on the same page and everybody being able to perform at their best.
And as I mentioned in the pregame when we talked about NXL, like, they don't have a whole lot of maps under their belt in the last 3 months. They got 21 total maps played between online and LAN, whereas Athletico, again, is looking at 70 maps in the last 3 months between online and LAN. So they're just playing a lot more Counter-Strike.
Yeah, well, they got this Cyber Gamer League, whatever the domestic Australian league is called, right?
Cyber Gamer.
Exactly. Cyber Gamer League going on, so they're going to get constant matching there, and obviously they have a couple of offline events in Australia as well. Even though it's a pretty big country and you have to travel quite some distance to get everywhere, it seems like a lot of the teams actually decide to do it, which is a cool thing. So yeah, they definitely get the matching, and I think just overall it's easier for them to get good matching as well, seeing how more and more Australian teams are actually doing pretty well for themselves. Even though they all eventually emigrate to NA, there's still a few good players left, right?
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, eventually, right?
Yeah.
So now you have Renegades over there and
Winter Fox.
Yeah. So, but there's still some teams left that are definitely worthwhile matching yourself up to. So it's not all bad for Athletico.
Speaking of Renegades, just got in my ear, 17-15 now for them, so they're starting out the overtime strong at least.
All right, that's a good sign.
Let's talk a little about the veto. Again, we're in best of three, so basically each team will pick and ban, leaving us one map left that will be the tiebreaker. Walk us through this one, Vendetta.
Well, NXL, again, they have a fairly weak map pool from what we could tell, and they had two go-to bans, and, well, Shane and Nuke already gone. The one worry for me is that they haven't really played too much of Dust 2, and that's going to be their map pick. So I'm not sure if that's something they've specifically prepared for this matchup or not, but it's going to be interesting to see. They do end up with a Mirage as the third, which is obviously the leftover map, and that's statistically been their best map, so they can't be too unhappy about that situation. For Athletico, again, removing Cobblestone, so that's just clearly one of their go-to bans. Picking up Cash, which has been, well, again, one of their better ones.
Or what's the Australian way of saying cash? Was it cash?
Cash. And yeah, so no big surprises really in the vetoes up to this point. Both teams getting, well, I guess, and it says both teams getting a comfort pick, but NXL doing it through the third map instead of going for it themselves. So I'm curious to see how that works out. In my eyes, unless NXL has something very special prepared, I can see this going to a 2-0. Because if I'm not mistaken, they don't play Cash at all.
Well, that's a good way to start things off.
Yeah, not a whole lot of cash on this list.
Yeah.
A whole lot of cash.
Literally no cash on the list over here,
Exactly.
actually.
You're going to have to make your
cash.
own box.
Yeah. All right, well, let's bring in our casters who are going to bring you the action. Kind of chest base with them. Hello, gentlemen. How are you? Welcome back.
Thank you. Yeah, it's feeling pretty good. It's always fun, actually, as a commentator, when you get Dust to Cash and Mirage. I don't think I'm just speaking for myself, am I, James?
No, nice open maps means lots of action. On Dust 2 specifically, I think infrequent is going to be a big problem for NXL. So, indeed, you said this was an interesting pick for them. I think it may be a suicidal pick for them if infrequent plays the way he was playing in the previous maps.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see the consistency elements, actually, for some of the players individually. Infrequent was that standout performer. He is, across the board, my focus as well, because all three of these maps, AWP has come into play massively. So that's going to be fun, or maybe very sad if Infrequent is not having a good game.
Yeah. Well, we'll come back after every map, so we're not going to talk about the other maps too much, but any kind of quick predictions on the first map, and you want to do you feel like giving an overall match prediction?
I think we're just going to go map to map, right? That's only fair. But
Sure, you're going to do this for this tournament? Just learn from Moscow.
Yeah.
Pick something up.
I think Halvar is pretty correct on the fact that they should actually playing probably towards the Australian side, in terms of also the good point from Dan about opping, and I think that's going to be a big part of it too. So I reckon Australians are going to take the first map.
Yeah, I think so too. Even though it's NXL's map pick, I think we're going to see Australians picking this up.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Again, NXL taking on Athletico, brought to you by Dan and James. Gentlemen, it's all yours.
NXL are a team, we saw them doing super fast plays, which didn't work out on Mirage. Now, I think maybe they'll have a better time if they try to employ... Actually, I was going to say, if they try and do that here, they might have a good time, but they might have a terrible time. Which is a kind of a useless comment, but I mean, I think there isn't a middle ground where they might have mixed success. I think it's either going to go great or disastrous. So I think it'll be one extreme or the other. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it. I'm actually, I don't really know how to predict this one just yet, because I think, again, NXL really found, Talia kind of just beat them into a pulp on the first map. And one thing that NXL on the first game we had today on Mirage showed us against Talia is that one thing they didn't really have in their bag was a lot of defaults. And that is kind of inherently can be quite an inconsistent way to play. So I think, it's harder for the individuals to get going in a consistent way. It's harder for them. I mean, some maps, as you say, it might be an extreme result where things are going their way, they're getting the right reads at the right time to run, this strategy or that strategy. And I think that's generally a lot of what it's going to come down to for NXL, a bit of the variance, actually. Unless they can show us on Dust 2 that they actually, on their pick, they've got a good default, they know how to get the information, and they have good setups to enable players to get the picks that they need to then play advantages. And that's like another thing we're going to talk about in the match, when they get advantages early on into the round, how they play those. Because that is a cornerstone of any good T side, is how you play that 5 versus 4 or the 4 versus 4 situation, which can often happen in the first minute or so.
Athletico are going to be starting on the CT side of this map, and then NXL will start on the CT side of the second map. Presumably, if we go to a third, knife rounds will appear. So we should be good to go in this one pretty quickly. And I think Athletico starting on the CT side is worse for NXL than the other way around. But then we need to see how Athletico choose to play infrequent, because if they're going to play him Skadiddle style, where he's in the same place every round all the time, then I don't think he'll necessarily be as effective as if they played him Chris J style, where he's in your face in various positions, causing you many, many problems. Pissed round will shortly begin, so we'll have to wait long to find out.
Yeah, this is always an interesting one as well, because generally speaking, when you're looking at the strategy selection for pistol rounds, I think the metagame across the world should be pretty similar, because it's a very simple round, and typically you expect a little bit of aggression towards catwalk for the CT side. And this gives fast rotations should the Ts rush A or B, and it also gives you any early information, and also some range advantages with the USPs if they go for fast aggression in the middle. And this is kind of similar. We're seeing something similar from Athletico. They're going for aggression in dark area, but they're actually wrapping it from upper dark as well. This is actually a beautiful little play from them, and it's going to work out wonderfully for a 2-frag advantage.
We've got Sonic behind the car position. He hasn't even been spotted yet. Oh, that is disgusting. I love it. Carragher made that famous. I use it as well, but not as effective as Sonic just did. That is hilarious. That's kind of amusing, actually.
The beautiful thing is that they don't realize like what even killed them until like everybody's dead.
Gimmicks.
Yeah,
In
you
the
don't see
pistol
that.
round, no less. That's awesome. 4 people towards B, sit behind the car.
It's so rare that you see that these days. It's pretty awesome. And well, this does spell some trouble here for NXL, that's for sure. The AWPs should come into play pretty quickly for Athletico onto the hands of Frequent. But let's see if just the Glock train can do anything here. Looks like the Incendiary is going to put a stop to that there for Athletico. And NXL have had their pass cut off for the moment by Athletico, who's just sitting there happily on the bomb site. And Wizard's in a great spot with the MP9. This is perfect. He can play the information. He can get any frags if they try to wrap through double doors. Athletico are basically in the perfect position right now to shut down the round without losing a single man.
Yes, many players that maybe we saw some of them back in the Face It leagues, but I don't remember them too much. So it's a good opportunity for them to show us what they can do. So far, so good.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
So far, so good. All of a sudden. I mean, Froster's got 4 HP here, but they've both got rifles, so... And we've seen a number of situations already today where a player with next to no health has managed to kill 1, maybe 2 people, so this round is by no means over. 40 seconds left on the clock. Wizard, despite his weapon and the damage fall off, should it be required, NXL have no Kevlar on these final players. There is a smoke, which is being deployed. He's going to stand and take the duel and win the duel, carrying the bomb. Risky play. Oh, man. The barbecue is real. Bentet's going to have to go back for it. 16 seconds. He needs to get escapes on. Spots a player in CT spawn, but he has no time to mess around. He may have to go for the bad plant here. Oh, no, he's going for double stack plant, and there is a CT coming his way. He's got the bomb down, though. But Wizard, indeed, with the MP9 from range, will finish things off.
That was way too much damage, though. All things considered, they walk into B, they lose a player, the Incendiary stops them from pushing forwards, they rotate all the way towards long. But the thing is that the setup between Infrequent and Lias was just really a big problem. You got a spot where I'm not sure if it was Infrequent, probably Infrequent in the way that I guess they will be positioned later on. That was towards Carr, where he didn't have a committed decision as to what he wanted to worry about. Like, he wasn't worrying about helping his teammate in that spot. He was more worried about catwalk, which in that timing, you don't really want to... You don't want to like allow your teammate to get swarmed by 3 or 4 players just because you're worried about catwalk in that spot. And that said, also his teammate was not in cover either. So it was just a little bit of a mess there on the long defense. Ooh. Either way, a lot of damage done, and it's allowed NXL to get a pretty decent buy into this situation, and a fast long take as well is really nice.
Yeah, especially with a tag onto Infrequent. There is a push through the tunnels from Athletico, so they will know it's likely to be A. The entire NXL team is in long, and there's nobody holding a flank, actually. And Athletico have an opportunity to go for a flank. I thought that Lias was going to head in that direction, but he turned around. And that would have been pretty crucial for the team. So it's going to be a duel between short and long here once NXL eventually get in. Nice positioning towards the Gandalf spot. Molotov goes down by the tees, but that will stop them from planting the bomb as well.
Yeah, it's a really nice position to find yourselves in, and the retake is slowly trying to make its way in, but it's a little bit staggered here. You see that Infrequent just dies moving towards elevator, and that's going to hinder the effort massively. You would expect a safe just to come in from the remaining players, potentially from this position, as there's just no way in, and they keep challenging there. Urcast goes down, and Sonic will be lucky to get that weapon away at this point, as NXL realize they've got 4 players left alive. The money situation is going to be awful for Athletico, so it is definitely in their interest to try to chase down Sonic and take him out. Because if you consider that in the previous round, they lost 3 players, did Athletico. This does not bode well. This does not bode well for them.
Early hardship for the Athletico side. Saw a flurry of white people at the airport in Singapore, all staring at us, and realised it must be Athletico. Indeed, it was. Long journeys here from the deep corner of the planet. Actually, the planet does not have any corners because it is a sphere.
That's all about that sentence, which I was just like, I don't know.
I was just saying that for your sake. I mean, the fact that it's a sphere.
I just don't know where to start with that sentence. Like, there's so much wrong in that.
Marvelous.
Either way, we won't have to worry about that for too much longer. We've got the single rifle that was saved here by Sonic. So hopefully for Athletico, he can get some damage done with that. And you can see they have a bit of a setup here to Athletico to move in to pressure the A-long area. Now the setup here is to deal with this, although Rousseau is pretty weak. And nice timing. They heard the damage they're done by the fire. Forged able to capitalize upon the repositioning. Challenging the USP. Pretty safe to do that with a helmet as well. So just slowly picking apart Athletico. And again, as long as they don't lose anybody or lose more than one player, they'll be very, very happy with that result. And so far, they're able to just get constant 1v1s, and that's really ideal.
Yeah, the M4's lost as well. Cast in City spawn, but surely not for long. Could have done a better job there with the aim as well. So that was a bit messy. But whatever, it's the eco round. Back on the buy for both sides. UMP for cast, so you can see there are shortcomings in the CT purchase on this occasion. 1 up on to NXL. Rozo has not bought yet. Okay, he has. Soi Fong is... There we go. Okay, 4 AKs. Sorry, 4 rifles and 3 AKs. There is an M4 on the T side as well. 2 players quickly towards upper B for NXL. Slowly emerging towards lower. No fast boost or aggressive play from Athletico. They take control of long. They still got some grenades in the bag. Importantly, counter flashes. Normally when you have an AWP on long, playing the car position, it's his job to flash for his teammates towards long or A. Not just the AWPing is his role, but also to throw in those counter flashes to allow his teammates to peek when necessary, mainly towards long on the ramp. So we'll have to look out for that later, see if we see such behaviours. And it seems Athletico will be happy to play passive in this round, maybe because of former losses, and react to NXL, who will be afforded map control. They are taking it carefully with all the flashbangs, which is great to see.
Problem is, though, is that because they don't know what the setup is of the CTs, they're just going to blindly go into A. And if they do that, they just go into A. Athletico have the best A setup that you can have, really. They have that man on Goose. They've got the 3-man setup with the man on Goose. That's the key difference. We'll have to see what that man on Goose can do for the Athletico side now, as we see the charge coming in from NXL. Nice counter flashes there. Allow Wizard to get an easy frag onto Rousseau. That's another beautiful counter flash. Infrequent finally shows himself from the Goose position. Didn't have to just yet, but still picks up a kill, and there's still more than enough members of Athletico alive. And Athletico, ooh, they're starting to have some troubles here. Bentec comes in, and that is a beautiful flurry of kills. Just enough time to get the bomb down still, but Lias, he can still save the day here, although it will be difficult. Forged on the AWP. He is coming in from Cowok as well. Oh, finds a quick free one there, Lias does. But that is going to be the trade from Forged. A bit of a crazy back and forwards round there, but NXL just barely scraping ahead.
Yeah, that was a very good comeback, and it seems they're quite drilled on executes. But one question is, how drilled are they on what happens after an execute?
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see how that develops in this game. Athletico down to pistols, so it's a good opportunity for an anti-eco round on Dust 2. Not a good start though. Leia's going to take an early deagle frag towards long, and that is an AK collected by Wizard.
Yeah, again, going kind of on a spawn timing, you have to, risk reward there. It's definitely, I mean, sometimes you can just get dealed in the face. It can just happen. Sometimes you just can't do anything about it.
Did they buy 2 AWPs in this round?
They wouldn't have bought 2. They had 1 from the previous round, so they only bought 1 AWP in this round.
Okay, that's fair enough. I was going to say, timing is always it's often awkward, not necessarily always, but often awkward when you have 2 AWPs versus an anti-eco round, especially with a start like this.
Yep.
Going for a suggestion of a similar execute, but it's going to be a move into CT spawn instead. The bomb's been dropped though. Another deagle kill, but it will be collected. 1 player towards B, that's Sonic, playing the close range with a P250, catching Misty while he's reloading. Trades coming in, but much damage has been done.
Yeah, making this round quite elaborate when perhaps it was not necessarily required has allowed a few opportunities here for Athletico. We see Wizard slowly making his way in. Straight through the smoke, brave stuff, bold stuff. But 3 kills I think will have Athletico quite happy with the round. But one thing to mention as well, on the round that they lost there, by round, where they had that good setup with Frequent on Goose, I think if he waits till they plant the bomb, I don't think they can win the round in that spot. That is NXL. So I wonder if we'll see a change to that setup, or if the change is now just infrequent on the AWP, because that's what we were looking forward to see. And now he's up against 2 AWPs as well, and he's going to go for the mid-peak. Oh, that is very nicely done for infrequent. I was very worried for him, but he gets it done. It's an aggressive play. A lot of AWPers don't even go for that these days.
Yeah, yeah, he had his teammates to jump past for him, but some AWPers will expect those jumps and not bite the cherry. And indeed, infrequent on the AWP, that is the problem we were expecting to see for NXL. Just the 1 frag on the board, though, in that respect. And there's the pop flash into middle doors. We were also looking for this kind of stuff on the T side. I'm not going to commit too far into it, though. But with minute 10 on the clock, not a big deal at the moment. All the players for NXL towards long, even if they are successful in taking it, if they're all spotted there, then that could mean a lot of bodies making their way to the A site on the Athletico side. Infrequent taking Misty down for free. Got a great angle, and again he's got no more flashbangs. But Lias with a 2-man spray down has done his job.
They know he's there, and that's the problem, because Infrequent's sitting there by the car, and he seems very on point at the moment with the AWP. He's doing a great job, and it could really start. It could be the start of a new era for the CT side of Athletico. Now, finally, that sniper rifle has been placed into the trusty hands of Infrequent. We're starting to see a pretty good results. That's an excellent first frag, and not an easy one to make by any stretch. And again, a lot of AWPers don't necessarily go for that, especially when your economy sucks, because there is inherent risk. What if you just die in that coin flip that it can often be? Then you leave your team a 4 versus 5 disadvantage, which is very much worse for the CTs than it is for the Ts.
Standard beginning to the round from NXL. Infrequent with 2 flashbangs now. He's over towards short at the moment, and he has players approaching him. But NXL have been very good at using their flashbangs to flash all these positions. And as I say that, there are no flashes coming in just yet. There it is. But again, Infrequent with great timing. Soifong looking for the frag too much, with the peeking immediately as the flash goes off. Infrequent not afraid to take a pot shot. Did exactly the same towards long. NXL threw a flash over the doors towards long at the beginning of the round. Infrequent took a shot as he got flashed off the corner. Did the same, gets a kill. And another one. Often you'll have 2 smokes there, one towards CT, one on that corner where you see it when T's opts to use the smoke. So now we're seeing the second smoke go down. And Liaz has made his way up to top mid. Going to the world one too many times, perhaps. Bentet with 2 HP, grenade in his hand as well. He is going to get taken down. So a slow and rough, somewhat brutal round for NXL. Will tie the score between these 2 teams.
And again, you can see that it's infrequent with these very snappy AWP shots that's able to pull Athletico reliably ahead in some of these rounds. And I'm excited to see if that continues. As it is for me, one of the bigger storylines with Athletico and how they're able to dictate the pace, or how they're able to control some of the rounds. He has played a pretty strong part there so far, and now they're up against a pure eco, and that is when a push like this is okay. When it's a pure eco, they have no helmets. You got an SMG, you're running up mid. It's fine to do that in this spot. You will go down though, Lias, in the end, but that's he made so much money there from the UMP. It paid for itself and then some.
And he's told his team where the last player on the server is, so.
Yeah, you remove a lot of variance by getting that information.
Variance and variables.
Ooh, I saw the frag coming in there.
In your mind's eye.
Yeah, from Frost Misty, I was like, he's got this. He's in the Matrix, but no. He don't got this. 5-4. Athletico got this so far, as they have, ever since their economy started to look good, things have been going pretty smoothly, actually. What do NXL have to bring to the table to try to change that? I don't think it's a good sign that we're seeing a scout, though. It'd be interesting to see how that's going to be used, but we get some aggression here. So it's going to be fun to see how this transpires. Ooh, that connected as well. Sonic is going to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, problem is there's no vision of short from these players until this peek comes in. And Frost Missy's going to get shot straight in the face. There was a flash as well. Again, NXL almost mouse sports X in the flashes they're doing, but they're to no good, infrequent with the op. 2 kills already, and indeed, this was the big question, and it still is. It's still early on in this game, in this first game of this best of 3. But the big question is, can NXL stop infrequent? I mean, I feel sorry for them in this particular round because they're doing the flashbangs to try and force him from these positions in both this round and the last round. But it's not enough.
Infrequent looking to add more to his tally, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He's still on the angle as well. He's got his teammate there to help support him, and that's going to be everybody that survived on 1 HP, of course. And this is the difference as well. In AWPers, you can have AWPers that can hold angles, and you can have AWPers that are a little bit more complete and aren't afraid. In fact, no, stylistically, it supports them, or supports them more to go aggressive. And this is the kind of AWPer that we're really seeing be so valuable on maps like Dust 2 recently. It's one of the reasons why Chris J is maybe one of the best, and at some points definitely the best Dust 2 AWPer in the world. In the world, yeah. And it's always been in the case that Chris J has been very, very effective here, and it's because he's so confident in how he can take his aggressive risks. So that is a good sign for Athletico. That definitely helps them.
So we have NXL charging in for the B split. Reminds me of Day of Defeat when they're running up the hill. And you've got the Germans with the MG42s just wrecking fools. Foolishly trying to get off the beach. That's the kind of situation NXL are in at the moment. Not many safe havens on Dust 2. Bentet heavily tagged. Got himself a kill. That P250 will pay for itself. 300 to 300. But again, not much expected. Sonic going to hold his teammates back. Liaz has gone down, so a rifle can be collected here by Bentet. But his shenanigans have come to an end as well. 3-round lead for Athletico. And we will see NXL come back in for the bye. Double AWPs on the T side. Double AWPs on the CT side. This is what we want to see.
This is pretty awesome. It's not as common as it used to be, but it's always going to be good. It's always going to be good, especially if you have people that can actually
well done.
Can AWP.
I have an argument with you there.
Yep.
It was always common in Oceania.
Yeah. Well, sometimes they would use 3 versus 3.
And this is an Oceanic team, and we are in Asia. So regionally speaking, this is a standard affair.
And they've taken out the problem, which is infrequent straight away. And again, it's sometimes there are going to be rounds like this where infrequent his risk taking, sometimes he's going to come up short because it is a big risk you face early in the round. And this is the situation I was afraid of Athletico being in. This is the one that every CT team hates. Going down a man early on Dust 2 is not fun for the CTs. Oh, but this could be big. If Wizard gets himself some kills, great flash that came in there to make his life difficult, and he couldn't get a single frag on the board. So yeah. NXL should be fine now.
Yeah, they actually peaked before the flashbang came in, but it worked out for them. So now we have the execute coming in once more. Liaz is the only person towards A at the moment. And we still have, I think, one of these AWPers holding the line through T-spawn for any crosses. Cast may have been spotted there, and he will be abandoning ship. And it seems Sonic is moving towards T-spawn. Maybe not realizing that Forged is there. Perhaps he takes Forged down. Oh man, he's going to get his wig split on that occasion. Cast spotted as well. Tagged, but for all of 4 HP. So we'll see if he can hold on to what he has. But NXL looking to be
thorough,
back to winning ways. The entire team is hunting for Urcast. Does not look good for the Mongolian Standard. Studying in Australia.
Ooh, he's actually managed to find his way around the back. Potentially, does he know that? He may have heard some sound cues. He may actually survive here, which would be very impressive.
Why would you go look at the bomb there?
So it's very interesting, actually, because NXL, they showed a Molotov, which is not quite the same Molotov, but it does the same job, where you are able, because the NIP version of the Molotov is, it goes onto the crate on the A-bomb site, which spills over the edge, and that stops players from basically playing like those headshot angles. You can see we just had an angle of it there, playing headshot angles, which is really important because that player can delay so much time. NXL showed that Molotov, and it's one actually a lot of teams don't have. And it's one that every Dust 2 team needs to have because it allows you to quickly take the A-bomb site. So I like that little detail there from NXL. It does give me some confidence that if they can get into a position to run set pieces on A, that they can be fairly successful. But they are still running in with a double op setup, and they will be definitely looking to try to get a pick, as they did last round. But this time infrequent, he didn't challenge straight away.
Okay, I presume smokes are being deployed towards Xbox to allow those players to start moving up top mid, and indeed they will. Bentet and Rozo will be moving towards short. And now the bomb is in tow as well on Soifong. So let's see what NXL are going to get up to. And again, it looks like a straight execute coming in, although there are 2 AWPs, so easier said than done. One, however, is lurking towards long doors, but there's nobody in low tunnel, nobody holding a flank, just a straight push coming in from NXL.
Straight push, and they have smoked off infrequent, but he's actually, it's incendiary. Someone will actually die running into his incendiary. Wizards actually in position to get information and to help out also. So right now, Athletico have a really good situation. They've held on to long. They're going to have the rotation coming through middle. If they can deal with the man on mid, it's Forged, then they're going to be able to attack from catwalk and have a great retake. But Forged is a problem there, holding down middle and stopping the CTs from really using the long control. So very nicely done here by NXL and the players they left on the outskirts.
Yeah, I may not have spotted the player who was in suicide there when the rest of the team was on the push. Nice off angle to pick up players as they jump onto Xbox. NXL survived with only 1 player loss, which is fantastic stuff for them. So it seems they've made adjustments as this half has continued, and they get themselves in a nice spot to get a reasonable score on the board in the first half. 6-2 Athletico 7. They will be back on the bye as well. What is Liaz going to be picking up off of the floor? Nothing. He's just going to be rolling with a CZ, it seems.
Well, it is a very good pistol, that's for sure. Some consider it overpowered, and infrequent also should be considered overpowered because I love these aggressive pushes. He's very confident. It's great to watch a very confident player play, and he's had a high success rate as well. Not many missed shots.
Nice.
That is a 5 versus 4 advantage. And this is where NXL do have problems. When they go down to 4 players, sometimes they struggle to equalize. Or maybe they try to equalize too hard rather than just say, all right, it's okay, we got 4 players left. Let's try to put ourselves in a position where we take map control away or where we are able to run a set piece onto one of the 2 bomb sites. Because that's really where you want to be. They're going to move in towards the B bomb site as well. And the setup here for Athletico should be fairly decent. But Forged, if he can connect that shot onto the player on the plateau, that is going to be the problem. Nice first kill. A second one comes in there. Support is there for Urcast in Sonic. And now the smokes come in. This attempt has been completely blown up onto that B-bomb site. Although, late kill with the Molotov.
I quite like that setup from Athletico. Urcast playing the off angle, but he's the first peek with the second one behind the headshot. Popping out to trade frag for his teammate, and now it's Liaz's turn to be around the suicide position, but Forge is still in T-spawn, so this is getting very interesting. Down goes Liaz, nobody on the A site, and how quickly will Forged run there? Does he have a read on where these players are likely to be? Infrequent is over towards A ramp, I believe. You can smoke short from long. Ooh. Infrequent puts himself in a great spot to shut things down there. And that is a lead extended again for Athletico. Still money for NXL to buy. But Athletico will definitely be taking a slight lead at least into the next half.
I love that he had the smoke there. That was brilliant. I mean, obviously it's a very hopeless situation, but I like that he still had the smoke for that situation, which is really nice. 8-6, Athletico. Looking pretty good overall, I would say. But again, relegated onto a CZ is Lias, but he seemed pretty happy in the previous round in that situation anyway. And NXL, what approach will they have this time? Once again, Athletico playing it fairly passively. Infrequent again, showing how versatile he is on this map. Oh, that's such a nice snap there. Just a pixel, a slither of Rousseau was showing, but a slither enough for Infrequent to flick and find. And are they going to keep the... Oh, right, Lias is going to go for the AK. So that's beautiful there. NXL stuck on 2 AWPs. They've lost a player. Do they compound the problem by looking for picks and wasting more time? We have flanks all over the place for Athletico as well. They've got a player almost in T-spawn.
Wizard taken down in the middle will deny them some information. Urcast is not committing to the push from B. He's just kind of staying around the ramp, so shows the lack of information. Liaz will see the shadow before Misty makes it through. Nice advantage, but can he stay alive? He can't really risks the gauntlet play. Forged is waiting for him, and Bentet will take him down. Urkas again, and now Urkas is last man standing, which is a shame because he was so close to T-spawn, but they kept him there, and now the entire team are dead. So he could have definitely helped his teammate out there in that situation. However, sometimes you make a play, it doesn't work out. 1 versus 3, we'll see what he can do. He has a Molotov, but no kit. So if that bomb's in an exposed position, he may be in trouble. Nice shot onto Soifong. Onto the low grounds. But that may make life hard for him. Ooh, good initial spray. Doing as best he could, but he was in a bad situation. So 8-7, Athletico with the slight lead into the next half.
Yeah, that's a shame for Athletico as well. They had such a great start to that previous round. You would have definitely felt they would be the shoe-in to win it after how it opens, but the positions that they actually found themselves in as well. One could argue that with the early advantage that they had, maybe they pressed the aggression too much. There's a lot of different ways you can look at that situation. The textbook response after you get a pick like this is you fall back to passive positions. You don't take additional risks, and instead you force the Ts to instead feel like they're in a spot where they need to take a bigger risk to equalize, and then they're more open to making mistakes. Either way, doesn't matter. We've got the 8-7 for Athletico now as they lead by 1 round. And NXL, again, this is very common in the meta. You take cat control of CTs, you push for information, you want to know what's going on straight away. And Athletico might find the back of this push. A nice kill there coming in from Urkas. And Athletico in a great spot to wrap onto the B bomb site now.
Yeah, Sonic turned into the bait, running back into T-spawn, allowing his teammates to emerge from low tunnel, and now the split into the B bomb site. Should have been going great, but Bentet is causing massive problems. He's already top fragging hugely for his team, and he's brought him straight back into this game. Another one tap from him, leaving Sonic alone, and Rose will finish him off. That is a monstrous play. At the beginning of this round, he had 20 kills. The closest to him on his team had 9. And he is going to add a few to that tally. Still, nobody else in double figures on NXL, and Bentet's up there with 23 kills.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, and Athletico will be very frustrated, I think. Obviously, they kind of lined up for him. We'll see it here. Look, this is just you kind of see it happening, and that's always a very sad story there for the Athletico side. But they're going to pick up the double scout now, which is going to be very interesting to see how they use this. It can be very difficult to get force buys to work on this map. A lot of teams have strategies specifically where they don't invest too much, and it's designed to get them a bomb plant. Because of that nature of this map, where it's very open, it's very easy for the CTs to abuse that advantage. But interestingly, we're seeing a gun that's probably maybe one of the guns that's bought the least in the entire game, which is the Bison there.
Yeah, the Bison is a very interesting weapon. It's a potato gun. If you're up against helmets, Kevlar, then it is going to do terrible damage. On the plus side, if you go super aggressive with it and you drop it to your opponent, then they are going to be in a less than stellar spot to do something great with it. Interestingly, though, Forged with this Bison is over towards B doors. And if Athletico go for a B split, then with the funnel through the door, he's got a teammate with him to hold the window. Never mind. He's just been shot in the face, Dan.
Oh, very nice. Look at the work with the scouts here. This is glorious stuff. And it leaves Frost Misty alone with a UMP, spraying wildly for his life. But his life is now forfeit. It has been too much to handle here, Athletico moving in. And that peak with the scout there and the headshot that was found by Urkas, that reminds me so much of Carrigan when we used to see Astralis, back when he was on Astralis, how they were so much a very problematic T side. And it's often because of those entries that Carrigan could deliver with the AWP. He was such a specialist and so consistent with those. And it's something that teams can struggle to deal with. And this is a good example as to why it's a good way to punish a CT side that's playing that setup, where they have no mid presence whatsoever. You can get into that position quite consistently. And NXL now, this is not a round that they were supposed to lose, James.
No, it's not. And this Bison may survive for the next round because NXL, they should have the read that NXL, well, they want a pistol, lost the force buy. So Eco Town is here. Wizard picking up the Bison. This is very interesting.
Yeah, I'm somewhat even surprised that NXL don't. I mean, in some situations on some maps, I think you always see the force buy here from the CTs, but Dust 2 is just so impossibly hard as a CT side. I think it's like one of the hardest maps, maybe the hardest, to make the force buy CTs actually work. because the spaces are so open. And, well, it's going to be a quick couple there for Lias as the catwalk push has been revealed and dealt with promptly. Now it's just 3 players left here for NXL.
There we go.
A frag from the Bison. That's even less common than ever seeing the Bison. So when people actually buy the Bison, you almost never see it do anything. So that's always nice.
I think there was an American team. Was it Hiko? He kept buying somebody went through a period of buying the Bison on Dust 2, actually. I think it may have been a play towards B, and I want to say it was Liquid, but I could be mistaken. But I'm reasonably sure.
Just say it's Hiko.
That was the case. There was a period of time with a Bison, and it was Hiko, definitely. 10-8. NXL's money still not in the right place, so Athletico in a good spot to get more Bison kills. And that's what we're all looking for. That's what we're all here for. That's why we've flown to be in Malaysia for 13 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. Playing Bejeweled for 10 hours in a row. You were on the plane, James, focused on the Bison kills.
It was an experience.
However, it seems like Athletico don't care about giving the Bison frags. Oh, this position again. This is awesome. It was used against them. Now they use it against Athletico. But it won't matter too much as we have just a 1 frag made by NXL there. And things could get dangerous for NXL now if they start to be in this position where their economy is always fragile and they never are able to win any rounds in a row. We'll have to see if that's actually how this ends up going. But Athletico, their money's growing out of control. And one team that's kind of scary, you brought up Liquid. I really like it when you see Liquid on the T side of Dust 2, when they have economy control, because they always understand exactly what their opponents are going to buy, and they have really awesome, fast, dynamic rounds to throw at it that can be very surprising. So I have to see if Athletico can get something going. They still have a Scout. They still have a Bison. But they're still playing for money, James.
That is messed up, man.
Their money's really good at this point. At this point, you throw those guns away, but they're still keeping them.
Oh, Bentek's going to get taken out by the... Oh, no, he's not going to get taken out. Oh, that's such an opportunity lost by Urkats. He's not having a good day at the moment, or a good game at the very least. Nice flashbang, and he's being very thorough with the smoke, but there's a big gap in that smoke. A second smoke comes in from his teammate. That's going to stop Sonic from getting what surely was going to be a frag. And now he's pushing through the smoke. That seems ill-advised, but he's still going to get the frag. How are these people getting these kills down? This is madness. The bomb's down on the B bomb site now, but Misty is in trouble. Again, you can look over the boxes. That is a very rudimentary flashbang there. Misty's just buying time for his team. Nice kill. Stereo kills coming in. Rosa taking Sonic down elsewhere. So NXL prevail just about.
The Bison actually got a frag there, James, just by running into the B-bomb site and just shooting, like just holding a mouse on down, running at a guy, shooting into his back. The Bison got a kill. This is bizarre. It's very weird. I mean, because again, Athletico are in a position where they have had so much money in the previous round. You can just say, all right, we're going to spend 6K or whatever, or 6-7K, get some upgrades. Let's just get some upgrades right now because NXL are going to have some money. We want to keep the momentum in our hands. And that's, I think, the better long-term economic play at that point. But never mind. They still have a strong buy, of course. And NXL, they're looking pretty good, actually. They have 1 player on a FAMAS, but otherwise it's pretty strong from the buy perspective. Let's see how Athletico actually build their round now, because NXL's positioning is very passive. And in the round where they had the double scout opening, Athletico at least, it's because middle was so free. And this could be a very big way for Athletico to take advantage. When teams play like this, the B split is very, very powerful because it hits you very fast and the rotation from A is very far. But will Athletico work out that the B split is the best by spotting no one in mid? Will NXL push their man on A long to get the information first? Ooh, this guy is dangerous, James. He's dangerous.
He is very dangerous, and Athletico are in a good position, or they were, to go for the split. Pop flash comes in. Man down for both sides. Rizzo still has not moved in the long area. No reactive flank coming in for the time being. It seems Athletico are still set on the split. That is a reasonable flash from Soifong, but too late to emerge from the smoke. Not easy when you are in the smoke to know when you will emerge from it and have good timing. The split continues. We've got Liaz moving up. There we go. Straight in the face of Frost. That's an open B-bomb site now. Rozo was knife out. Ill-advised when you're on a 1 versus 4. Taken by surprise. 3-round lead, Athletico.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how Athletico played the round. Again, the inherent weakness of NXL's setup is if a team plays the information finding game and they go into mid as they did. They found out, okay, there's a guy in mid. all right, we pushed him back. That means that there's 2 guys isolated on the B-bomb side, or maybe even just 1 guy isolated on the B-bomb side. So they just kind of held their positions and just capitalized on any opportunities that came their way. And they always kept tabs on. They always kind of knew after that initial play in mid where the CTs were more or less playing from, and that enabled them to split onto B correctly. So that was actually a really nice round from Athletico. And moving forwards now, it only gets slightly easier as they're up against a full eco here. Just a single P250 invested in by NXL, and that's basically it. So hard times here for NXL. Athletico could be like the string of rounds now that just takes them to 16, because they are looking very strong. And NXL's buy is not going to be too amazing.
Nobody towards car makes me sad. On the CT side, minute 10 coming up for Athletico. Nice opening frag over towards the B bomb site, but we still have Frost hiding towards the headshot box over there. So we can see Soi Fong trying to reposition, but he's spotted, completely blind and completely dead. Anti-eco so far so good for Athletico. Barely touched, just Sonic taking a few points of insignificant damage. And this should be a formality for the leading side, the T side. Down goes Bentet. 2 more to find.
So, as far as NXL's position goes, it's hard to say, what their response is going to be on the next buy round, because they essentially have probably 2.5 buy rounds left in this now before Athletico just outright win the map, which was their choice. And their money is very awkward indeed. In a perfect world, they would love to just half buy here and then have a nice buy in the next round, but they're going to be forced, with the rounds as they currently are, they're forced to commit. And so you would expect aggression from them in this position. And Athletico have been fairly decent at reading NXL's position, so they should realize that NXL are going to be looking for aggression. So we should hope to see from Athletico either a super hyper fast anti-force play type play or the extreme opposite. Looks like it's going to be the first one, James. This is running straight into B.
Oh dear, Forge looking away, expecting flashbangs to come in, and they are going to get completely wiped out on the B bomb site. Infrequent as well, so consistent, shooting people through the doors as they cross. Bente got tagged earlier on, and that's a 3-man save coming in from NXL. Took Sonic down, but the damage to the T economy will be inconsequential entirely. A bunch of players with over $10,000-11,000 in the bank for the T side, so they're in a very strong position to close out Dust 2, and this is an important save for NXL.
And again, I had to praise Athletico and how they decided to approach this round. Again, you got a situation where early, the way you play the early round against what NXL have to buy with, and Athletico should be keeping track of their money, so they should have made that informed decision. You either play it super fast like an anti-force buy, which is exactly what they did, or you play the round very hyper passively because. And then build into the default a little bit later, because you're afraid of the early round timings for aggression. And you can circumvent those early round timings for aggression if the CTs go for those with the super fast play. And that's the reason, that's a justification for that. So, yeah, great play there from Athletico. They're showing on their T side that they have a very good grasp of how to play these situations and how to actually capitalize upon a CT side that's got a poor economy, because that definitely is something to consider.
2 rounds away from map 1 in this best of 3. Are Athletico. 2 plays and long for NXL, and they're going to be challenged very early on indeed. Backing off, that's very smart. Potential for a triple peak wherever they choose to stand. Athletico, how far will they commit in this situation? Sonic is lurking around a tunnel, so you can keep an eye on rotations. And NXL focusing on retaining short. They've got 2 men there for the time being, so they're keeping a channel open for a potential retake, while Athletico bide their time and wait for a pick.
This is always a very tough spot as a CTs. When you're just holding on to catwalk, you don't have control of long. It's a bit more awkward than having long and not having catwalk, because when your B players come in, how do they help the retake effort? So ideally, in an ideal world, you don't want to allow Athletico to get onto a bomb plant with too many players left alive. So let's have a look and see how the entries develop here for Athletico. They're starting to move in right now. They do have a lurker, a Sonic, who's on the other side of the map at the moment, but he might be a little bit far away to help. I have to see if he comes into play quickly enough. Now, Athletico walking onto the site for free at the moment. NXL still waiting until they go for a challenge. The bomb is being planted at the moment. And the post-plant positions are set up quite effectively here by Athletico.
Yeah, they really wanted an opening frag and then an early advantage. Sonic finally delivers it, but he gets traded. That means 3 people coming up short, 2 plays on long and 2 on the side for Athletico. It's going to be a fight to the end. NXL don't want game point here. Will they have any choice though? Cass trying to waste time. There's one frag on the low ground, but he'll get traded as well. Now the advantage is with the CTs. Infrequent of 1 shot. Got 2 more to get. There it is. Oh man, disgusting stuff by him. So consistent. Shutting NXL down 1 by 1. Then runs distraction for Wizard to pick up the last one. Game point, Athletico.
Yeah, Frequent's a really, really fun guy to watch with that AWP. Just the style of shots, because he's so quick, just really satisfying somehow. And here we go, we can see it all over again. It's a quick flick there. I think only headshots as well. Yeah, there it is, another flick straight to the head, and that's a beautiful round played out by Athletico. Also, NXL, I think you want to see them challenge it. I don't think you need to not allow the bomb to go down in that situation. Otherwise, the setup's too strong afterwards. And now look at the situation, forced to spend everything they had, but that is not very much. And that's going to leave them with these CZs, leave them in a situation where they must press the aggression. Bentet doing what he can. He does actually pick up another kill there, taking out Atletico's Urcas, giving them a man advantage. So there is hope here for NXL in this round.
Bentet's heading towards 30 kills at the moment. Next person to him on his team has 15. So only man really pulling his weight at present to keep this at a competitive score at the very least. Athletico looking to push rather than split the B bomb site, and Forge just pushed all the way into the B tunnel. Maybe expecting somebody there, but nobody's there. Down they go 1 by 1, but still an advantage for the CTs. 2 plays in tunnels now, but they've got Soifong way out of position, and he's got one of the 2 rifles on the side. Spotted now in CT spawn, tagged as well.
That's a great smoke, but I don't know if Athletico really have the feeling that they're so close, and they push through. Perfectly done. Bentet closing both frags there for the round. NXL hang on a moment longer, but how long can they grip onto the edge of the precipice that they are dangling over at the moment? Because Athletico, they just need 1. They just need 1. They got the bomb down. That's extra money. I believe they already had some pretty good money. Indeed, their money is pretty amazing. Wizard with 16k. The buys will not end, ever.
Wow. Liaz going for the E8, the last AK on the side. Forged will be AWPing for his team, and Infrequent, of course, will continue, or at least try and continue his reign of absolute havoc and terror that we are witnessing at the moment. 2 plays into his side for Athletico. Question if we're going to see a fast play into double doors. Indeed, we are. The pop flash coming in. We saw this earlier on as well. Can be very problematic if you are an AWPer trying to hold down the middle area. And now we're allowed to go for a fast B split. Bentet on the high ground though, almost unstoppable. Robocop coming through, 2 kills for him, and it's a 5 versus 3.
This can still work though for Athletico. They're into the B bomb site, and they have forward positions here. They're getting the entry frags to boot. Problems here. Bentet coming in, delivering once again for his team. 3 kills already in this round, but he's critically low at this point. However, the bomb has not been planted, which is a big deal here. NXL pushing forwards, pushing the issue, closing the frags. 15 to 11, 4 more. 4 more just to get to overtime, and overtime is a costly affair as well with the MR5. It's a long day at this point for some of these players, or it's getting there at least.
Look at the money on Atletico. They've got buys on buys on buys. NXL, they can keep winning rounds, but there's still a fair chunk of cash for Atletico to spend on these rounds, and they will have no concern in doing that. Frequent looking through the doors, looking from T-spawn, finds a shot, and I don't think anyone will be looking there anytime soon. Bentet's got to be careful, nobody watching his back. 2 plays in long, 2 plays in B. He's holding down the lower tunnel position. We've seen a number of frags here before.
This is good though. This is the kind of risk you need to be able to feel that you can take in a spot where if you die, your team could just lose the map. And he still gets the kill. Bentet doing a great job here, showing what he offers to the team. Nice flash comes in, but Wizard, very nicely done, just goes for the haphazard spray. It works, but Athletico lose Infrequent as well, down to just 3 men. And what have they gained for that? Well, only long. That's the only forward positioning that they have is long. And wow, Wizard's going for it, man. He's just going for it alone with the bomb. And you kind of have to in this position. Will he manage to catch out somebody off guard?
Got the bomb drop. Bentet might hear that. The shoulder pick comes in, and it's good though. So some information spotted, but got to be careful. His teammate's vulnerable now. Bentet snapping him very fastly done indeed, but the Molotov will spread and he will be dead. That's Urcast alone versus 3. Hasn't delivered the all the kills in the world here. 9 kills for him at the moment. And that won't be another one. Match point continues, and will the buys for the T side? They've got potential to do it.
One problem for them has actually been that they haven't gotten any bombs down in the last 2 or 3 rounds, I think. So because of that, they're just getting a little bit awkward now. But because of the the loss bonus, if they just get bombs down, then the buys will continue. But it's a bit of a marginal spot. However, as the T side, even if you have to purchase a Tech 9 on a player, you can very well construct a round which can be just as deadly as if that player had an AK, if he's the forward man, drawing distraction, drawing fire in a fast push scenario. And that could be where we find Athletico in this round. They have shown quite a few rounds similar to this. We've seen fast B rounds. We've seen rounds where they rush down mid, but it would be unlikely they'll be confident to just rush down mid in this round through suicide because they don't have an AWPer to support that angle. Or actually, no, they do. Actually, they do scramble together to pick up the AWP for infrequent. Didn't think they could afford it, but they do. And a fast round it is here, but towards long. Rousseau there to deliver the defense. Taking down Wizard, the smoke, obscuring things a little bit, but the trade comes in. That's good here for Athletico so far. So we're falling in a slightly awkward position here. Wild spray. Can't quite catch the next frag.
It's called Frost to rotate from the B bomb site. Not going crazy though, he's going to be staying in CT Spawn looking over towards mid doors. But he's closer towards A should he be required, should those smokes come down towards ramp, then maybe he will be peeled off his position. Athletico with 4 players remaining, all around A, 2 in long, 2 outside long. Again, we've got Sonic this time going towards T-Spawn, trying to figure out what kind of setup NXL have. Have they pushed through tunnel? Have they pushed through mid? So on and so forth. Are they trying to hold on to short since we have long? All these questions need to be answered by Athletico, or at least the ones relevant to their plan. 50 seconds on the clock, so they've only got so much time to do it. The bomb's rotating away as well towards B bomb site, but doing it carefully and quietly to try and keep the thinner numbers in that direction. And I think Infrequent was firing some AWP shots towards A, so he's going to be the distraction man. And he may turn and go towards top mid and be the cutoff man. Down goes Sonic towards B though. Cass soon to follow, and the bomb won't be on this occasion, but Infrequent needs to get there fast.
This is actually kind of okay. Losing 2 men for that one pick is actually sort of okay because the bomb goes down. Not in the best position. No, actually, no. Wow, Frostmitty able to have time to just run straight in there. So I thought maybe there's a bit of extra time, but no. 15 to 13 now. NXL really pushing the issue. And again, because there's no bomb plant, again for Athletico, this time they don't have the cash, really, to get in the buy, but they can go for a half buy instead. Very interesting stuff here. Interesting developments as... also, Athletico were in a position that from as a 4 versus 4, that's a spot where you do expect the CTs to play 2-2. NXL actually only had 1 on B, but that guy was able to deliver massively. So pretty interesting how that ended up going. But let's see what Athletico can do in this round. They have, again, that half buy working in their favor instead of just Glocks or something. So it's always possible with Tech 9s and armor. Do they have any smoke? There's no smokes, though. That's unfortunate. A single smoke could make such a difference.
Gauntlet. That's what they're facing. Flash in City Spawn because of the lack of smoke grenade. Won't do amazing for them, but the Deagle spam will. And I feel like it's his deja vu then. 15 to 14 is on the way. NXL, they have a man disadvantage. And that's disappeared, so there's potential for them. They've got a split on the site, so... Oh, there's a free kill. This could all fall apart. Liaz doesn't have enough health. Flashbangs coming in as well. There's another one. Spotted by double stack. It can be wallbangable, but won't be required. Bentet is going to take it to 14 rounds. Atletico managed to get into a good spot, but it wasn't enough. They will have another buy on the way. The last buy, the fourth buy, regardless of how much money they have, because it's the last round of the half. So if some people are short, they're buying. Some people are not. They are also buying.
It's quite funny, actually. I mean, they could definitely have had a smoke for CT. It didn't matter too much in the end, but yeah. Athletico It's starting to slip through their fingers here. They've had quite the advantage for a very long time, but will it be overtime once more? Infrequent going for the pick. There it is. Bentech goes down, and if you're going to kill any player on NXL, that's the guy to kill. Another entry frag found by Athletico as they've managed to take away long control from NXL, although there is still a challenge here. Looks like Swoifong is actually so committed. They've already lost 2 players. He's just going to commit himself as well. And it's a nice off angle that he's found, and he'll also get the information that it's been evacuated immediately, and that information is very valuable for NXL. But in comes Athletico once again. This time they choose Catwalk, and they move all together.
Fast play continues. One player was lost towards B, but there's nobody in B for the CTs anymore. It's a good pick for Swoifong, holding on to the long area as well, while there's a fight towards short. Missy's going to start it off well, but Wizard will trade. Now he is on the right side of a smoke. We'll hear a nade being pushed, and he will capitalize on that. Very nice stuff, leaving Swoifong alone. He's on the site now. Doesn't know where the second player is, though. And 16-14, Athletico will take the first game of this best of 3.
They do take it, but it was almost NXL bringing it all the way to overtime. Athletico looking so good for so long. A key factor, something that we highlighted, was the AWPing from Infrequent. It was stellar stuff, and I can't wait to see more of it. But if Athletico become this team that struggle to close out matches, this series could be very interesting.
Bentet he got 37 frags.
Oh my god.
In that, and nobody was anywhere close to him.
Bentet
He has
was a
on
monster.
28. On Bentet's own team, we had Misty on 20, but everyone else was 10, 15 frags. So he put in big numbers, but as you can see, it wasn't enough.
Yeah, and that's really impressive to have that performance. Again, you need to have those big individual players for both teams, and that does seem to be what we have. This situation, NXL have a lot more ability to actually show their individual skill, as opposed to when they were playing Tyloo and they were getting shut down in a lot of these rounds. Tyloo seems so confident with every single player to make those clutches happen, but this is much more of an even matchup. I think we can see, but it does seem like Athletico have a bit of an edge. So I think this is just a taste of things to come as well with Mirage and Keish coming up. It should be awesome actually, this series.
Well, let's see what the desk think of all that in the first map.
Keish.
Australia, mate.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. Atletico almost gave that away. They're up 15-9.
I'm not sure how I would look at it, if it's like Atletico giving it away or Bentet just taking what is rightfully his.
Yeah, talking about a lopsided team.
Yeah, this is kind of reminiscent of what we saw from Mongols back in the day when they brought it. When they brought it out with Silkenberg and Machine Gun. Obviously now Machine Gun is in Splice in America, and Silkenberg's probably going to end up somewhere out there eventually. But this was a one-man army, 100%.
What do you got over there, Nat? Look at the stats.
Yeah, let's put Bentet into numbers, right? 134 ADR.
Not too shabby.
That's pretty all right. He had 2 4K rounds, 4 3K rounds, and 5 2K rounds.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you say?
That's insane.
What is there to be added to that?
I
think he's did his worth, and Brother sure did.
Yeah.
But for NXL, has to be said though, their T side actually, we could see some actual really elaborate strategies when they had the room to execute them. So they actually, they had some nice ideas going for them. But you can't be reliant on one guy just destroying everything, right? It just can't work that way. You need to have someone else chiming in a little bit too, right?
He's got to have some backup.
Yeah, and then Athletico, they had the ideas on having a lurker in around after plan situation. Only problem really was, I think it was Sonic most of the time, is that he kind of committed himself too early into these situations. I think this round here we're seeing in the highlight is one of them, where he was in middle lower tunnel, kind of cutting off the rotations from NXL, but he got himself in a situation where he was all into a battle. Gets a 1-for-1 trade, but that meant I think 3-on-3 or a 4-on-4 retake coming at a bomb side, which is still doable for the ZTs.
No, absolutely. And even though Atletico ended up winning NXL's map pick, it's not like they played flawlessly through this. I think we all started gasping when we saw that retake happening on that B-bomb site because we had no idea what was going on. Simply because that's stuff that's not supposed to happen. They had all the information needed. It's a 2v2. You're playing CT on the B side of Dust 2, which is supposed to be the hardest site to retake for CTs. So as a team in that situation, you should be golden. There's nothing for you to worry about. And somehow they managed to just completely ignore
and there's like
what are the 2 entry points.
It's a fancy box right there to hide behind, even, right?
Yeah,
and it's like weird. Yeah. So we have the scoreboard. Let's bring it up. It's gonna show us what we already said, especially about Bentet. But
yeah.
yeah.
Just kinda
That's
stands
pretty
out.
solid. I mean, yeah, it's 15/41 impact rating also. So a
And,
lot
and, and the thing is, like, he does this with actually getting, second most, getting most entry packs on his side as well. Like, so it's not like he's hiding behind other people to find the opening frags for his team, which is it just makes it all the more insane, really. So
And also, opping was definitely a factor here. We were discussing before the game. We saw pushes from Catwalk, getting 2Ks from there, using the smoke on Xbox and just taking a peek on lower tunnels, smoking off on Catwalk towards Xbox, lower tunnel, and taking another peek towards top of mid, make it a 5-3 quick. So that's a lot of that action happening too.
Oh, for sure. You could tell the CT side of Athletico really got going the second Infrequent was able to pick up that off. That's kind of when they got into things and started picking up rounds. Because after picking up the pistol and obviously losing the third round, it looked like they were on a bit shaky ground. And NXL, obviously, we talked about how they don't really have a default. They just kind of have a lot of go-to executes that they just find immediately within the round, and we saw that they had quite a few elaborate executes towards Catwalk and that kind of thing. And then obviously if you can get to that spot because Atletico is not putting pressure on you early enough, then you don't really need a default because the default just allows you to get into an execution. So if Atletico is not going to interrupt you up to that point, then you're perfectly fine. So that looked a bit scary for me. Luckily, they managed to do something about that once Infrequent got the op in his hands.
And we do have an MVP of map 1. I want to say they told me it was Leoz, but let's take a look at it. Yep, it is.
Yeah.
Leoz. So there you go. Not the Opper.
No, not the Opper. And I mean, Leoz obviously having 28 kills definitely did his part as well. But I kind of have to disagree with this. Like, to me, it would have been Infrequent because he kind of got them going for the better part of it. But obviously, you've done something right when you rack up this amount of kills.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the next map. Again, we kind of made a little joke when we saw the vetoes. I've got a pile of NXL information right here. Nowhere in this whole document is the word cash mentioned in anything they've done in the last 3 months.
That's rough because cash in a map you need a lot of structure on both CT and T side. I mean, CT side it's a lot about a lot of CTs have their takeover middle. They'll have one player playing A for the most part of it, and then you'll have some kind of a retake plan for that bomb site. You play two towards B because it's harder to retake. But then you have different parameters that you go by depending on which part of the map you're losing. So let's say if you lose middle, then you're taking over A main, for example, try to make sure that you have at least one part of the map taking on. And then on the T side also, it's a lot about the default. It's a lot about getting map control once again and then going for a hit afterwards. So if you don't have a lot to go by, then this could be struggle town for them.
Yeah, but again, they do have the salvation of having Bentet though.
Yeah.
So if traditional taking mid control type of thing doesn't work on the T side, then it's send up Bentet mid. Just do it, and he's gonna get something.
Fetch boy.
Exactly, he's gonna find something. At least if he plays like what he did on Dust 2.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be an uphill struggle for them, especially with the fact that we haven't seen a proper default out of them so far in these 2 maps we've seen them play. That doesn't bode well for playing T side on cash. Sure, they can try to run into it to execute and play an extremely high tempo the entire time, but I think if Atletico, obviously with this being their map pick, you would assume that they've practiced something that they actually, have setups for this. They shouldn't have too many issues adjusting to it if it catches them off guard initially to the point where they just settle in and start closing down the T sides of NXL. So that's worrying. I think we're going to have to see something new from the side of the Singaporeans that we haven't seen up to this point.
Any predictions you want to throw out? Are we going to a 2-0 here? Or what do you
I'm
think?
pretty sure it's going to be a 2-0, judging from all we know right now. And also, I think opping is going to be another big part of this map too. You can dominate plays a lot with that. You can go either take a peek towards B main or A main or just holding middle, go door. Like there's so many different things you can do, right? So I feel like all these things added together, and this is all pointing towards Atletico taking this 2-0.
Well, Bentet versus Athletico coming up after the break, folks. We will be back after the map. When we come out of commercial break, you're going to see James and DDK taking you through it.